Welcome back in. Believe in the Wolfpack. I'm your host, Luke Nichols. Today, going to be going over some, women's Wolfpack talk and some prep for their game. Maybe a quicker one today, just because I got the bracket one coming out tomorrow, and then, a full recap of really the men's game and the entire first day of the tournament the day after. But let's just see. I like to ramble a lot. So starting off, NC State will be playing Chattanooga, the Chattanooga Mocs. Listen, I could sit up here and say, oh, I know so and so. I know so much. I know all this about Chattanooga. I just read 3 articles and I, have been following them all year. I don't know. They won their conference. They won the Southern Conference. They easily won it. They had the best record by far. They finished 13-1 in the Southern Conference, and they're 28-4 overall. They're what? Just on ESPN, NC State has a 97.4% chance to win. And then for the betting line purposes, NC State is 26.5-point favorites. I'm not going to sit up here and act like Chattanooga is this great threat, is this major, we got to be careful in the first round. No, this should be. Now, I will say that. It should be an easy game and a nice, kind of start in the tournament for NC State. At the end of the year now, we're 27-6, 15-1 overall. Chattanooga, yeah, their record, they're undefeated in their conference. It doesn't matter. This is 3 versus 14. This should be an easy game. Now, what I really want to get to, though, is the disrespect that NC State is getting right now. Just complete nothing going on. So I'm looking through articles on ESPN all day because I'm just like, basketball. This says which 10 teams might win the women's NCAA title. And it starts off with, can anyone stop South Carolina? Which is a fair question. They're undefeated. They've pretty much beaten everybody they're supposed to all year. They've beaten everyone kind of easily. The only one that was really a close game is that Tennessee game. And they lose that game if Tennessee just plays defense. But they crushed UConn, beat LSU pretty easily. So, that's fine. That's fine to start off with. But here's where my problem lies. The next subheader, I guess, is who are the next 5 teams that could win the national championship? And it goes Iowa, fair. Caitlin Clark is a monster. LSU, also fair. They haven't had, the best year. I mean, well, they've had a good year, but maybe not the year that they've kind of expected, but still a good team with Angel Reese and Van Lith, even though with who is it? Indiana's on their side. They could play them like in the second round. I think it is. That's her old team. Yeah, Louisville. I said Indiana. Yeah, they could play them in the second round. So that should be exciting to see. And then they have USC, which is also fair. Juju Watkins has been incredible. Notre Dame, which is like, okay. They did win the ACC tournament, which is fine. Yeah, whatever. And Hannah Hidalgo has been great this year. Freshman has really kind of came around. Okay, fair. UConn, also fair. Also fair with Paige Beckers. She's a bucket. And Gino is Gino. He's one of the greatest coaches of all time. Anytime you have him and a great star like Beckers, that's, pretty good duo right there. That's also fair. And that's where the list ends. That's where it ends. No NC State. Not even saying, oh, they might have a chance. Not even saying that. But here's what's even worse. So I'm already annoyed about that, saying like, oh, they're a top 3 seed. They listed LSU and UConn. They're both 3 seeds. I don't think they listed the other ones. Let me check. Let me double check to make sure. So they listed Notre Dame. There are 2. They didn't list Oregon State. There are 3. Listed LSU, like I said, there are 3. I guess because they won it last year, but whatever. Besides the point. But yeah, they didn't list Oregon State, and they didn't list us, of course. And then, this is where I really have a problem. The next subheader. What other teams might have a chance to triumph in Cleveland? And it goes Stanford. Okay. Great coach. Great team. Playing well all year. Sure. Makes sense. And then they have UCLA. Also a great team. Sure, makes sense. Ohio State, great team. Yeah, sure. Texas, sure. These are all great teams. These are all valid teams. But then the list ends after Texas. No NC State. Not even on they don't have ESPN saying don't have a chance to win. And even under don't have a chance, you have like a far chance, a long shot to win almost. We're not even there. We're not even in that grouping. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? This is a team that beat UConn easily by double digits, by 18 points? Yes, in the beginning of the year. But that was when we were unranked. This team wasn't even ranked coming into the year. And now they're a 3 seed. Not even getting any kind of love, any kind of recognition. Like, I get it. South Carolina's the favorites, as they should be. They're undefeated with one of the greatest coaches, if not the best coach in the league, maybe in basketball. She's been that dominant so far in the last, 6-7 years. She's been that dominant. But damn, not even like they have a chance? Not even that we have a chance. Not even going to list the 3 seed that has a chance. They don't even mention Oregon State either. They're a 3 seed. I'd be mad at that too. And we're in what region is this? I can't even remember what region it is. We're in Portland 4. Yeah, we're in the Portland 4 region. We got Texas as the 1 seed here, and Stanford's the 2. Stanford might be a tougher game than Texas, but I don't know. I cannot believe not even a mention. Not even a quick little blurb about how, also NC State has been very good this year, and they just need to find their scoring again with Isaiah James, and their defense is incredible with Sinai Rivers and Baldwin and and blah 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 blah, and nothing. Not a word. Nothing. Unbelievable. But what are you gonna do? I just can't wait. Just that really got me fired up and ready for Friday now. Let's just put a beating on Chattanooga, and then we would play the winner of looked at the wrong one. Tennessee and Green Bay. Again, I could sit here and act like I've known and I've been following Green Bay women's basketball, Green Bay athletics for the entire year. I'd be lying to you because I didn't know Green Bay had a D1 college. My bad. I just figured Green Bay was just that little plot of houses and then Lambeau Field. Because that is really cool, though, because you do have Lambeau Field right there, and it's like someone's backyard. Just a bunch of little, like, kind of suburban area, and then a giant football stadium. That's pretty cool. That's my extent of knowledge about Green Bay. They have a cool little suburban area right there. They got the Packers in their backyard, and they've had 3 straight quarterbacks now that just make terrible decisions in the playoffs. Moving on. I have been seeing a lot of UConn love as of late, though. And I mentioned it because of Gino and Paige Beckers, but there's another article here. It says, who are the top duos in the women's March Madness bracket? And Paige Beckers and Aaliyah Edwards are number 1, even past Caitlin Clark and Hannah Stolke. Even then, I would have thought that. I'm surprised it didn't pull like a duos, Caitlin Clark and whoever's having the second best night on Iowa. I mean, it's shaping up, like, full bias aside, with I'm already annoyed that we're being a little bit slighted. This is shaping up to be a South Carolina Iowa championship. Iowa is in a very difficult region with LSU and UCLA and even Louisville solid. Colorado's been good most of the year. So they're in a really tough region. They have a long road ahead of them. But it's looking like they're trying to set it up as an Iowa South Carolina championship. But UConn has been getting a lot of love. Paige Beckers is incredible. She had that leg injury, her freshman year, that kept her out for a year and a half. Otherwise, she may have been kind of up there in the all-time scoring records for women's basketball. She may be almost neck and neck with Caitlin Clark right now. I mean, I remember back in high school seeing highlights of Paige Beckers just crossing people up and just doing step back jumpers. And it's like, get her in the WNBA now. Get her to the league now. So having her healthy, and again, with Gino, it's like he's always gonna you're always gonna have a chance with him. But again, even on this article of the top duos, nothing about it. Not Sanaya Rivers and Isaiah. I would have put Sanaya Rivers and Isaiah James just because Isaiah Rivers is the scorer, which she has to be the leading scorer. She has to have a hot hand the entire way if we want to go deep in this bracket because the defense has been there all year. Just the scoring at times has been a struggle. So if Isaiah James can have that shot and have her shot and just kind of have that confidence and feeling herself during these games, I really like our chances to at least get to the Final Four. But having Sanaya Rivers and Isaiah James is a nice little duo where Sanaya Rivers pretty much does everything else, the defense, the playmaking, just being the core of the team almost. And then Isaiah James, just that score, the offensive threat. I don't know. It's ridiculous. It is a little ridiculous that not getting just any love whatsoever. And it's a little absurd. So just looking at our path right now, like I said, play the winner of Tennessee and Green Bay. And then if we make the Sweet 16, that's when we would match up with Stanford. So an NC State Stanford Sweet 16 matchup would be awesome. That would be such a fun game. I have no idea what the line or anything would be for that game, but that would be an incredible game for the Sweet 16. Yeah, Louisville could be solid, but I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too ahead of myself. Maybe I'm just annoyed that there's really no mention at all. And I get it. I knew it was going to be all South Carolina and Iowa. Not as much LSU as I saw, or at least as I thought there would be. But they're still obviously talking about Angel Reese and Haley Van Lith. But then UConn, of course, Paige Becker's getting a lot of attention, and Gino, of course. But it's mostly going to be Caitlin Clark in South Carolina that will get the most coverage. But damn, not even a mention of the women's Wolfpack team on ESPN for the chances, for anything. Ridiculous. Really just annoying. So that's why my main goal now, my main focus now is just proving them wrong. Because if we can just get to the Sweet 16 and then beat Stanford, and then the Elite Eight, we'd most likely match up with Texas or whoever from that kind of top half. Ooh, that'd be something. And then we'd get to the Final Four and most likely match up against South Carolina. I'd be a little worried, but I do feel like, I don't know, I do feel like Stanford is going to be, if we do end up playing Stanford, let's say we get that far. Maybe I'm getting too ahead of myself, whatever. I'm just already focused on just getting that far and proving them all wrong because obviously unranked coming into the season, and now they're acting like we're still this unranked team getting into the tournament. Even giving Notre Dame more of a chance. We were right there with Notre Dame in the ACC Championship. Should we have won? I think so. Probably yes. But damn, it's a real pain. I think the Stanford game would be tougher than the Texas game. So we can beat Texas in the Elite Eight, and then boom. If we can beat all right, now I'm getting too ahead of myself. I'm talking about beating South Carolina. That's way too far down the road. But I'm very excited. The women's Wolfpack play 2:30 this Friday against Chattanooga, and then I imagine they would play that Sunday right after. That time, obviously. Or it says right there, yeah, so it would be the Sunday after. They don't have the time for that yet, obviously, so looking forward to it. Already annoyed. Who could have seen this coming? I guess it's on me that I didn't see it coming. Gonna step away for a moment. When we come back, just some more bracket stuff. And actually, as I'm recording this, the Wagner and Howard game tipped off. So I'm gonna, make a few picks for the play-in games that are happening tonight and why I just really hope Virginia loses tonight so it saves the country. Just we don't need to see Virginia play basketball again. Please, Colorado State, save us. You're our, not really only hope, but the first hope that we have. Stick around. We'll be right back on Believe in the Wolfpack. All right, welcome back in, Believe in the Wolfpack. Just going to go over some final thoughts about the men's side of the play in. And again, I already kind of talked about it last week, I think, or the week before, but do not extend, do not open up the bracket anymore. 68 teams is fine. I don't even think we need these play-in games for the last 4 teams. So once we get to Thursday, 64 teams is fine. Do not go to 72. Do not go to 74. Because then it's like, because even with the discourse of the Big East guys not getting in and some other teams not getting in that should have, it's still just good for the game to get people talking about it. If everybody got in who had a half decent, half more bad than good record, then it's like it just loses all meaning for the regular season and even the conference tournaments. It just kind of loses all the meaning. If you're a team on the bubble and you win your conference tournament, that's so much more exciting. But if you're a team that you're going to get in, it's like whatever, we can just take this one off. It don't matter. But I'm not going to get into that whole spiel again. My original pick for the Wagner, Ohio, I don't know where the hell I got that. The Wagner Howard game was Howard because that's why I couldn't tell you. Again, I couldn't listen. Even filling out a bracket, I'm kind of thinking about. I have a good idea, a decent idea about most of the teams in the tournament. Like, they're good. They played this one. They did this, blah, 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 blah. And there's other teams where I couldn't tell you a thing. Like Duquesne, I don't. That's a strictly vibes pick if I'm picking Duquesne. Strictly like, yeah, why not? They haven't been in the tournament forever. Check, highlight, pick, whatever you do. Howard and Wagner, kind of the same thing. I was going to go with Howard because they have a better record, and Bryce Harris averages 16.6 a game, it says, and that's more than anybody on the Wagner team. And I also like the name, the Bison. It's a good team name, the Howard Bison. It's easy enough. And the Wagner Seahawks, kind of lame. So I'm going with Howard. They're down by 4 right now, not even 10 minutes into the game. So when they pull that out. But then the Colorado State and Virginia game, like I said, please, Colorado State, save us. Please save us, Colorado State. From the Mountain West, they lost in the Mountain West championship. Was this the championship? New Mexico Pass semifinal. They lost in the semifinal to New Mexico. New Mexico ended up winning the Mountain West tournament championship. Colorado State has Isaiah Stevens averaging 16.5 a game. He also averages 7 rebounds and also 40% from the field, so pretty solid. They're 24-10 on the year, 10-8 in their conference, but I mean, it was just a bloodbath in the Mountain West Conference. You had Colorado State at 10-8. They are, I guess they were the worst team out of the Mountain West to make it in. And then New Mexico, they were 10-8 in their like that's what I mean. New Mexico was 10-8 in their conference record, and then ended up winning the conference tournament. It's like a NC State type win. You weren't expecting New Mexico State to win that. You were probably going to pick, gun to your head, you probably would have went with Utah State or Nevada or Boise State, because Utah State went 14-4 in conference play. Nevada went 13-5. Boise State went 13-5, and then even UNLV went 12-6, and San Diego State went 11-7. I thought UNLV had a better record this year. I don't know why I thought that. I just did. But I'm just hoping Colorado State can beat Virginia, because I'm fine with Colorado State getting in. Like I said, I mean, 24-10, that's a great record on the year, and I am kind of happy that the Mountain West teams all made it in, because I thought, if anything, a few of them were going to get pushed out, kind of the first 4 out. I thought they weren't going to get their bids, and then everyone would have been mad about that. So I'm kind of happy that the Mountain West all got in. And I just don't want to say Virginia should not have gotten in. They should not have gotten in. Colorado State should be playing Seton Hall, St. John's, whoever else, mostly Seton Hall. I still think they absolutely should have gotten in. And then I guess, not Villanova. I don't think Villanova was close. I just remember watching that Marquette game thinking like, oh man, this is where losing in overtime, and that's pretty much just closes the door on your chances to make the tournament. That's gotta hurt. But save us. Just do not lose to Virginia. They're so boring, and they shouldn't even be in the tournament in the first place. No one is gonna want to watch Virginia. Who do they play? Who's the winner get here? I don't know why. Okay, I guess I can look at that. Nah, it's gonna take too long. My site is too bad for that. Let me see. I feel like is it? No, I'm wrong there. But I don't know. I just don't want to see Virginia. It would be such a waste. So it's just, we can only hope. All we can do is hope right now. The winner of this plays Texas. Yeah, because it's a 10 seeded game. So they play Texas. So, and even then, 10-7, that's like a very reasonable upset. 10 beating a 7. I actually think the winner of Colorado and Boise State, no matter who wins that game, I think that they'll win and beat Florida. I mean, they're both just good teams. Colorado's got a few guys that are projected to go in the first round of the draft, I think. Let me check that again. Because last I saw, there was at least the two guys from Colorado. I don't know how often they updated now with March Madness and whatnot. But yeah, Cody Williams, small forward, is projected to go sixth. He's from Colorado. There should be. Is he late first? Did he drop to the second? He must have dropped to the second. Oh, yeah, okay. So then Tristan Da Silva, he was the second guy. He dropped to early second round. They got two NBA quality guys. They got a real chance to win in the play-in and then beat Florida and go on maybe a little run, maybe make the Sweet 16. Usually there's some play-in team that goes on a nice run. If I had to guess, I would pick Colorado as that team. Even then, Boise State's a solid team as well, but I would pick Colorado to win that game and then go on a run. What was it, UCLA a few years ago that they were in a play-in game and then ended up in the Final Four against Gonzaga, I think it was. So listen, just because it's a play-in game doesn't mean that they can't win. Even some of these 16 seeds. You never know. You never know. I really thought a few years ago that all the play-in games were only 16 and 15 seeds. But I don't know. I mean, the fact that there's two 10 seed playing games, that's just better basketball. Nothing against Howard and Wagner, but if I had to pick a game I'm most excited for, it's easily the Colorado Boise State game because those are two very good teams. So looking forward to that. And one more time before we wrap it up here, like I said, maybe a little quicker tonight, but I just can't believe NC State getting disrespected like that. A 3 seed. They're a 3 seed in the tournament. Not even a chance. Not even given a chance to win. Unbelievable. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous stuff. So come Friday and even next week, I'm hoping to start proving some people wrong. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Believe in the Wolfpack. Tomorrow, gonna do a full bracket breakdown. Will be posted Thursday morning, probably Thursday at like midnight, just to have it right before. I always do a bracket at the very last minute just because just to get it in, just that quick little hit of dopamine. I just so I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna go through the full thing, make my picks, and then in a few weeks down the line, we can laugh at how wrong I was. Thank you for joining me again, and we'll see you next time.